So I have a question. At what point can we start getting excited and start getting our hopes up? Is it now? I'm not doing it. I will not do it. I will not do it. I will not get my hopes up yet. But the Sens have looked very impressive in these last three games. They look like they want the playoffs. They look like they want it and they are playing like it. This is another huge win tonight, 5-1 over the Panthers. I did do a watch party tonight, so I do want to thank everyone who tuned in to the live stream tonight. Um, Man, oh man, you'd think they should have this. They should. There are only three games remaining, so they got the Islanders and the Devils and the Leafs. So Devils and Leafs are not in a playoff spot. They're not going to the playoffs. Now, the Islanders could be a tough one because they are fighting for a playoff spot as well. But right now, as it stands, I do have the standings pulled up right now. I know I usually talk about the standings more towards the end of the video, but currently, as it stands, they are 3 points clear of the second wildcard spot. So they're in a really good spot, man. They're playing well. They're taking down some good teams like Carolina and Tampa. I mean, I still think they're a good team, even though they're under 500 now after tonight. Um, yeah, it can be really easy to get your hopes up right now, but I refuse to do it until I see they are clinched. However, this team has been playing great lately. So, Game 79 of the season was played on Thursday, April 9th against the Florida Panthers, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Star Time. This was the fourth and final meeting of the season between these two teams, and the Panthers won all three, at least the previous three. So I was very nervous going into this game because of that, and the fact that, well, they went down 5-0 in the first period last time they played them. So understandably, I was nervous going into this game, but tonight was kind of the complete opposite of what happened in the last game. It was very impressive. So, starting goalies were Linus Ullmark for the Sens and Sergei Bobrovsky for the Panthers. The Sens were 41, 27, and 10 coming into tonight, and the Panthers were 37, 37, and 4 coming into tonight. And this was just a really solid game. There was one stretch in the third period where it kind of looked like they were starting to sit back a little bit. They ended up giving up a late goal, but it didn't really hurt them too much. Yeah, this is just an all-around good game. And I do want to mention as well, some way, somehow, Thomas Chabot came back tonight. He apparently broke his arm. He breaks his arm supposedly, and now he's back 17 days later. I don't know. I've never broken my arm. I've never broken anything in my body, but to come back 17 days later, and he looked pretty good. He didn't look out of place tonight, I thought. So obviously, massive understatement here, but that is a huge gain for the Sens. Um, Having him back, they got their top two defensemen back now. Of course, Sanderson came back a little while ago, but yeah, this was just another really solid effort for the Sens tonight. Alright, so let's talk about the stats for tonight's game. So the Sens win by a score of 5-1 over the Panthers. The Sens improve to 42, 27, and 10. The Panthers fall to 37, 38, and 4. And you look at the stats, once again they keep the shot count against low, 27-22 in favor of the Sens. The Sens do win majority of the faceoffs, 52.5%, 47.5% for the Panthers, and their special teams were perfect. There were only two penalties tonight. This game was really quick. It felt like it was over really quickly, because I did a watch party for the game tonight, so thank you to everyone who came out. But like I said it during a few times during the watch party, because I looked at how long the stream's been going, and I'm like, wow, this game is flying by. And it was over in a hurry, it felt like. So, power plays. Panthers go 0 for 1, the Sens go 1 for 1. So, perfect special teams, right? Penalty minutes, just 2 apiece. Hits were 28-21 in favor of the Panthers. Panthers get the edge in the block shots with 14, 13 for the Sens, 13 giveaways for the Panthers, 10 for the Sens, and the takeaways were 4-3 in favor of the Panthers. And as mentioned, this was the final meeting of the season between these two teams. so they will not meet each other again until next season. Alright, so as mentioned, I did do a watch party, so I did not take any notes during the game. So we will go through the scoring summary here. So, kicking things off, it was Batherson scoring his 32nd of the season on the power play at the 6:49 mark from Sanderson and Tkachuk, and the Sens go up 1-0. And later on in the first period, Zetterlund would end up scoring his 15th of the season from Eller and Spence at the 17-minute mark. Sens go up 2-0, and we're feeling pretty good. The Sens played a really, really solid first period. So we go into the first intermission, we're up 2-0, and the shots in the first period, 10-5 in favor of the Sens, just 5 shots against, like, very impressive. So second period, there were no goals. I was kind of like, I don't know how I feel about the second period, because like they weren't really trying offensively, but they weren't really giving up too much defensively. So it's like, I don't know. I've never really been a big fan of, sitting back and not trying offensively. Yes, I know they're up 2-0 at this point, but yeah, there was just nothing going on in the second period for either team. So I guess it's not, it ends up not being that big of a deal. If you're not going to give up, or if you're not going to generate any offense, then you better not be giving up a whole lot. And the Sens didn't. So in the second period, the shots end up being 8-5 in favor of the Panthers. There's just really not too much going on in the second period. And then in the third period, 3:03 into the third period, it is Zub scoring his 5th of the season from Sanderson and Dylan Cousins. This makes it 3-0 Sens, and they're just looking great at this point. So right around here, so the Panthers do score 14-17 into the third period. Boqvist scores from Greer and Luostarinen. So I'm thinking this is right around the time where it kind of looked like they were starting to sit back a little bit for a few shifts, but they ended up turning it back around. So it's 3-1. The Panthers do end up pulling Bobrovsky for the extra attacker, and Giroux would end up scoring an empty netter at the 16:43 mark unassisted with his 14th of the season. This makes it 4-1 Sens. So Bobrovsky comes back into the net, and while he's back in the net, Zetterlund adds another one, his second of the game, 16th of the season at the 17:02 mark, and that's 2 goals in 19 seconds for the Sens. So just that makes it 5-1. 5-1 ends up being your final, and it's really hard not to feel good about this team right now. Like, I do feel good about the team, obviously, but playoffs, again, I'm not going to get my hopes up until I see that they are clinched. And I think I have the right to feel that way. So 3 stars of the game, as mentioned, Zetterlund did have 2 goals. He was the first star of the game. Second star of the game was Chabot. He didn't have any points, but I mean, he came back 17 days after breaking his arm, which is insane. So deserved, I think. And the third star of the game was Sanderson. He had 2 assists. Also, do want to mention the shots in the third period were 12-10 in favor of the Sens. And just doing a double take here, they changed some of the stats on me. Yep, looking at it right now. So the shots were 27-23 in favor of the Sens. Faceoffs were 55.9% for the Sens, 44.1% for the Panthers. That's why you always check, because they like to change things on me sometimes. But yes, there you go. So we will go through the box score for the Sens now. So starting off with the forwards, as mentioned, Zetterlund did have 2 goals. Batherson and Giroux also had a goal. Eller, Dylan Cousins, and Tkachuk all had 1 assist. For plus minus, Zetterlund, Foegele, and Eller were all +2. Amadio, Giroux, and Gregg were +1. And nobody was a minus, I believe. No, nobody was a minus, forward or defense. Ice time leader was Tkachuk with 17-13. Leading in shots was Stützle with 4. Leading in blocks was Zetterlund with 2. And leading in hits was Foegele, he had 3. And looking at the defense stats, Sanderson, as mentioned, had 2 assists. Zub had a goal, and Spence had an assist as well. plus minus, Zub and Sanderson were +2, and Matt and Paolo and Thompson were +1. Ice time leader was actually Zub tonight, playing 22-32. Huh. That's a little bit surprising. I like how balanced the ice time was tonight. Because Zub played the most with 22-32, and then Thompson played the least with 16-31. So, I like that. It seemed to work out pretty well for them tonight, too. Leading in shots was Zub with 4. Of course, he did score a goal as well. Leading in blocks was Sanderson with 3. And leading in hits was Matt Palla with 4. And if we look at the save percentage for Allmark, he was fantastic tonight. He stops 22 out of 23 for a .957 save percentage. And that is what you like to see. So yeah, this is just a solid game. There really isn't too much to complain about here. Special teams are perfect. You know, again, I'll say it again. There was that one, maybe like 2 or 3 shifts in the third period where they kind of looked like they were sitting back a little bit. But outside of that, this was a pretty flawless game. And yeah, they have the inside track on that playoff spot. Like, I'm gonna refresh right now because I know a couple of the games are just finishing up right about now. So yeah, as it stands right now, you've got the Sens still sitting in the second wildcard spot with 94 points. And you've got the Red Wings and the Islanders both behind them with 91 points. They are 3 points up on both of them with 3 games left. So they're in a good spot, but they're not in the clear yet. So, and of course, as you can see by the layout, their next game will be against the New York Islanders, Saturday, April 11th, 1 p.m. Eastern start time for that one. And that is a massive game to say the least. So we'll see. The Islanders, I know they won tonight against the Leafs, but they've been kind of struggling lately. I know they just got rid of Patrick Waugh, their head coach, or former head coach. So yeah, we'll see what happens. 3 games remaining, but the job is not done. So yes, I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Big shout out and thank you once again to everyone who tuned in to the watch party tonight. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, that's it for this one, guys. The Sens win by a score of 5-1 over the Florida Panthers. And they are gunning for that wild card position. And it's going to continue on Saturday against the New York Islanders. Alright, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you all so much for watching. And go Sens go.